Time and Date, we look up into the sky. We bring you exclusive footage from eclipses worldwide. We take our mobile observatory to where the action happens. Hi, Steffen.
Hi, Anna.
We collaborate with experts and observatories across the globe to bring you the best view of celestial events.
And we ordered the Devil's Horn just for you.
Now, we have to say thank you very much for your images tonight.
We explain how and show why it all happens while answering your questions during our live broadcast events.
That is a meteor.
Find your home and even more details on Time and Date. And subscribe to join us next time. Welcome. I'm Anna Buckle, this is Graham Jones, and you're watching the Super Harvest Moon Eclipse here on timeanddate.com. And we're live for the next 2.5 hours. We're going to see a small part of the moon get eclipsed by Earth's dark shadow. But first, we're going to do some housekeeping. We've got a timeline here on our left-hand side. Am I pointing? I'm pointing out of the image. But it's on the left-hand side of our screen, and we've got a UTC clock right here below us that gives us a proper time that we can look at, that everybody can look at, because it's UTC. So yeah, we can stick to one time. We're also hoping to take a closer look at Saturn, Jupiter and Mars in this show, so we're excited for that. So Graham, who can see the eclipse?
Yeah, so Anna, the really great thing with lunar eclipses is that they have a really big audience. And basically anyone on the nighttime side of Earth has a chance of seeing this lunar eclipse. Above us on the screen, we have the Time and Date moonlight map. The light area on this map, that shows the part of the globe where the moon is above the horizon right now, where the moon is visible. And that is pretty much the nighttime side of the planet. Now, Anna, tonight we have telescopes on the ground at 4 locations across the globe. First of all, just down the road from the Time and Date HQ here in Stavanger, Norway, we have the Time and Date Mobile Observatory. That is Steffen Thorsen and Adalbert Michelic. They will be sending us, well, this picture we're seeing right here, the main picture on the main screen, that is coming from the Norwegian coast tonight. Across the North Sea in Darlington, UK, we have Neil Sanders from Go Stargazing. He's sending us that beautiful moon image in the top right, which has just switched now to the main image on the screen. In the western part of Asia, in Dubai, we are working again with our old friends at the Dubai Astronomy Group, sending us pictures from the desert just outside of Dubai. And on the other side of the Atlantic, our old friend John Williams sending us images from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Couple of things to mention there. First of all, at the moment, clouds in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So John is unable to send us any kind of images at the moment because of clouds. We should also mention that Dubai, if we have a look at our moonlight map, we can see that Dubai and the Middle East is quite close to the right edge of that light area. That's the area where the moon is visible. Now, this moonlight map, it's not a static map. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to see this light moonlit area move very slowly to the left across the map. The moon is always in motion, so the part of the globe that can see the moon is always changing. And in around about an hour from now, Dubai is going to fall out of the lit part of this map into the dark part of this map, that means that the moon is going to set in Dubai. And yeah, we are hoping to bring you some pictures of Moonset from Dubai around about an hour from now.
And as we always are, we're off screen, we're on screen. And when we're off screen, the moonlight map will be there showing you where the moon is rising and setting as the eclipse progresses. We've been really lucky here in Stavanger, Norway, and we got to watch the harvest moon rising from our HQ. So I've still got my fingers crossed for John, hoping that he can get us, at least for himself, see the moon rising. As always, we're going to be back. We're just going to take a look at timeanddate.live. There you can find more details about this eclipse, your local timings, reactions, images, and much more. And we will see you back here soon. And we are back, and we're watching a partial eclipse of the super harvest moon here on timeanddate.com, and we are pulling an all-nighter to show you these gorgeous images of the full moon. We've got Darlington here in the main image. The detail on that moon is just incredible. We've got Stavanger up there in the corner down the road from our HQ, and we've got teeny weeny cute little Saturn there. So we've finally got some planets too. So Graham.
Yeah, that's right. So at the moment, we do have 3 planets shining in the night sky. We have Saturn, the unmistakable Saturn there we can see in the panel. Also, Jupiter and Mars are up in the night sky. We're hoping to get some images of those later on. And we'll be talking a little bit more about the planets later on too. Now, Anna, you mentioned that this full moon was special in a number of ways.
Yes.
First of all, of course, this full moon is giving us this lunar eclipse. So a lunar eclipse happens when the sun, the earth, and the moon come into alignment, and the moon passes through the Earth's shadow in space. Now, tonight, it's not a perfect alignment. So the moon has started moving through the lighter outer part of Earth's shadow. This is called the penumbral phase of the eclipse. And we can start to see that there is a little difference now starting between the top half and the bottom half of the moon. At the moment, the Earth's lighter penumbral shadow is covering about a half of the moon. So we can see very subtly the moon, the top half of the moon, a little bit darker there. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, the really dark bit of Earth's shadow, that's the inner part of Earth's shadow. That's called the umbral shadow. That will start to cover the moon in, just under an hour from now. We've got it marked on the timeline there. The partial stage of the eclipse starts at 0212 UTC. This is when the darker inner part of Earth's shadow will start to move across the disk of the moon, but it's not going to cover much of the moon. Even at maximum eclipse, which again we can see on our timeline, that's coming around 0244 UTC. At maximum eclipse, the dark umbral shadow of the Earth will be covering just 3.5% of the moon's disk. So it will just be taking a very small bite out of the top of the moon's disk.
But
tonight.
we're going to see it, right?
But we will definitely see that. Yes, we will see on the moon's top edge a little black bite where it's been eaten away by the Earth's shadow. Other things with this full moon. It is also a supermoon tonight. The distance from the Earth to the moon, it does vary from one day to the next. When we have a full moon or a new moon, that coincides with the moon being particularly close to Earth, then that is a supermoon. And that's what we have tonight. And not only that, this full moon is also the harvest moon. The harvest moon is the name given to the full moon that falls closest to the September equinox, which this year is on September 22nd. So this is also the harvest moon tonight.
So there you go, the super harvest moon eclipse. And that's all the levels of what we're looking at today. So we're into the penumbral phase of this eclipse. We talked about the darkening. That means that the lighter shadow is moving across. We're waiting for that dark shadow creeping in. And yeah, there's a lot more to come still on our show. And we're going to have a look at Saturn coming up. I'm very excited about that. So don't be shy. Stay here, keep watching, and go to timeanddate.live and take a look at reactions to the eclipse, to details about eclipses, about supermoon, about harvest moon, about all the fun things that we do here at Time and Date. And we'll see you back here soon.
This is a partial lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com. On our main screen, we're looking at the view from right here in Stavanger, Norway, where local time, it is 3:40 in the morning here in Stavanger. And the eclipse is now obviously underway.
Yeah.
The moon is still in the lighter outer part of Earth's shadow, but we can really see now that there is a very, very clear darkening at the top of the moon, the darker inner part of Earth's shadow is getting closer and closer to the moon, and the moon will enter it, well, around about half an hour from now. That's when the partial phase of this eclipse begins. That's when we'll really see a bite taken out the top of the moon. But between now and then, we're going to see a continuing of this darkening of the moon from the top down. So that's our main feed there. In the top right corner, we've got the pictures coming in there from Darlington in the UK, and again we can see there that there's this very kind of very clear darkening from the top of the moon. Anna, it's still cloudy in Santa Fe in New Mexico, but we are still hoping to bring images later on from that. And we should also say that again, Dubai will be having a moonset in the next half hour or so. So at some point, we are going to lose the moon there in Dubai.
Yeah. So, we're looking at 2 moons on the screen right now, but it's only 1 moon for Earth. But Saturn has a few more, right?
That's right. So also on the screen here we have this wonderful shot of Saturn, and right, Anna, Saturn has a lot more than 1 moon. At the latest count, Saturn had 146 moons. Wow. Meaning it is the planet with the most moons in our solar system. Now, this is a good time to catch Saturn. Saturn was at opposition 10 days ago. When a planet is at opposition, it means that it's on the opposite side of Earth to the sun. So it means the planet is rising around sunset and setting around sunrise, and it's at its highest position in the sky around about midnight. So it's a very good time for observing that planet. Saturn was at opposition just 10 days ago.
And it's really easy to see. I pointed Saturn out to you and even to the astrophysicist and the boss of Time and Date with all the astronomy content, and said, that's Saturn. And we went on our night sky map and checked it, and there it was. It was Saturn next to the moon.
That's right. Yeah. So tonight, Saturn is very close to the full moon tonight. And if you're looking up at the moon, then that kind of bright star you can see near the moon, that is Saturn. The reason it's so close to the moon is that this is a full moon. A full moon is on the opposite side of Earth to the sun. In fact, tonight, the moon is at opposition itself. So that's putting the moon and Saturn in the same part of the sky, directly opposite the sun. And that is why Saturn is there in the sky next to the full moon tonight. Yeah. And they really are, it really is an unmistakable view there of Saturn. We should say that Saturn is not unique in having these rings that we can see. In fact, all of the outer planets in the solar system, also Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, those planets also have ring systems, but only Saturn has these rings that are so easy to see and just so spectacular.
It is really spectacular. And for me, Saturn is like the icon, it's the planet, it's the emoji. It's what you see in your inner eye when you think planet. And I had the fortunate opportunity to actually see Saturn quite up close, even closer than this, in New York. So-called sidewalk astronomy. I got pulled over, and the astronomer asked me to look into his telescope, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing because it looked fake. It did not look real.
And this was in the middle of the bright New York City.
Yeah. So I just didn't believe it. I couldn't believe you could point that up at the sky and you could see something so beautiful and lifelike and moving the same way like we're looking at Saturn here on the image, and still believe it was real.
Yeah, it is one of the most incredible sights to see in the solar system. Absolutely. So yes, we're getting a great view of it there tonight. Now we will be back. Soon. We'll be looking hopefully at Jupiter and Mars later on as well. We have the partial stage of the eclipse happening around about 25 minutes from now. In the meantime, don't forget to have a look at our live blog at timeanddate.live. We've got great posts on there, great images from sky watchers around the world, and lots of updates and news about the eclipse. So have a look at that, and Anna and I will be back soon.
You're watching a partial lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we've been scrambling in the background here. We want an image of Dubai here, and you can just see the outline of the moon there, and just see a little bit of trees there. The moon is setting.
That's right. Over the last few minutes, I mean, we saw the moon turning very red in the feed there from Dubai as it was getting lower and lower on the horizon. And of course, this is a full moon. So as the full moon is on the opposite side of Earth to the sun, so as the full moon is setting, over on the other horizon, the sun is rising. So we had a combination of the moon getting lower and lower, closer and closer to the desert there in Dubai. At the same time, the sky was getting brighter and brighter because the sun was getting closer and closer to the horizon. So yeah, in the final images we saw there from Dubai, we saw this, this very bright sky and this very faint full moon as it was slipping behind the western horizon. And this is one of the really wonderful things about a lunar eclipse, in that here we have all these locations across the globe, from Dubai there in the Middle East, across to Santa Fe in the western part of the USA. Great to see pictures now coming through in the top right corner there from Santa Fe. So all these very different places across the globe, but everyone is watching the same eclipse.
And the same moon.
Right, seeing the same moon, the same eclipse, the same stage of the eclipse, but everybody's got a very different local situation. In Santa Fe, it is Tuesday evening, and the moon just rose recently, and it's now climbing into the sky. In Stavanger, Norway, we are heading towards the morning. The moon is beginning to get closer to the horizon, and there in Dubai, it's now already daybreak, and the moon has set. So it's a very nice demonstration of how the moon can be seen by half the globe at any one time, but everybody gets a very different look at it.
And it's exactly what we're seeing here on a moonlight world map. It's the bright side of that moonlight map is where it's nighttime, where we can see the moonlight, and we've just that shadow on one side there, on where it goes dark there. That's Dubai. That line there, and the other line is Santa Fe. The moon has risen there, so it's crazy to think about that. It just shifts like that. It's just, yeah.
Absolutely. And the one other thing that our moonlight map shows is it also shows where the moon is directly overhead at the moment. We do have that moon symbol in the middle of the light area on the map. We can see the moon is just over the very eastern tip of South America. So right there, the moon is directly overhead. It really is the middle of the night with the full moon high up in the sky. So yes, lots of people getting to see this eclipse, but very different experiences for different people in different parts of the globe. Yes.
And we're very, very grateful for the Dubai Astronomy Group for their images today. They've really, really done a great job. They were founded in the year 2000. We've had a few chats with them leading up to this eclipse and other eclipses that we work with them, and they always have so many ideas and so much energy and are just so happy. And they're setting something up already now on October 4 to 10 with World Space Week. So they're just going on, and we love working with them.
Absolutely, yes. And we met Khadija in New Mexico last year after the annular solar eclipse last year, and it really is a wonderful group there. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, and you can rest now, and we have to keep working.
Absolutely, and keep working. And meanwhile, back at the eclipse, we are now 10 minutes away from the start of partial. That means we are 10 minutes away from the moon entering the darkest part of Earth's shadow, but things are getting pretty dark already. We can really see on our main image there from the Time and Date Mobile Observatory that yes, that top half of the moon really is getting very dark now, and we're all set for the partial phase of this eclipse. Remember, at maximum, only 3.5% of the moon's disk will be covered by the very darkest part of the moon's shadow. But as we can already see, it's already a really wonderful sight.
And then we've got half an hour of the dark shadow moving in and then back out again. So we've got a lot coming up still. And more information on timeanddate.live. We cannot stress this enough, because that's where we have our articles, that's where we have fun images, that's where we share images from across the world. So go and have a look, and we will see you guys back here soon. Welcome back. You're watching a partial lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we can really see that dark umbral shadow eating away at the moon now. And you say, oh, it's only tiny, 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 but it looks so good. And it looks so different from like a moon phase. So we've got Santa Fe in the US here in the middle, courtesy of John Williams there. He got rid of the clouds for us. We love him for that. We've got up there in the right hand corner, we've got Stavanger, Norway, dark shadow eating away there, and also Darlington in the UK, dark shadow eating from pretty much the same place. So why is it? Why are the views looking different, Graham?
Right, we have seen some very different views of the moon over the course of the live stream so far. Now, sometimes these differences are caused by differences in local conditions. That's, of course, really what we saw with Dubai. So if it's a different time of night, the moon can be at a different height above the horizon. That all makes a difference to how the moon appears. Not only that, of course, all of our collaborators and partners are in different places using different equipment. So different telescopes, different cameras, and they all give slightly different colors and tints and exposures to the moon.
Sharpness, softness as well, right?
Exactly. Right. Now, the other thing that telescopes can do is that they can sometimes flip images either sort of left to right or top to bottom. So sometimes that's what gives us different views of an eclipse. But in this case here, all of the images of the moon we're seeing are all the images as people are seeing in the sky. None of these images are flipped around. But we can see that it doesn't look like exactly the same eclipse, because there in Santa Fe, in our main image, the bite in the moon is really on the top left side, whereas in Norway and the UK, the bite in the moon is on the top right side. And this is one more difference that we get in the view of the moon, and it's all to do with the time of night. So in Santa Fe, it's the evening on Tuesday. The moon is still climbing and rising into the sky. And as the moon moves across the sky, it rotates. So the orientation of the moon when it's after moonrise is different to when it's moved across the sky and is starting to move down towards the horizon and is nearing moonset. So as the moon goes from moonrise in Santa Fe across the sky to moonset, and in Stavanger and in the UK, we are heading towards dawn and moonset. The moon has rotated in the sky, meaning that the Earth's shadow appears to be coming from a different angle, but it is the same shadow in the same part of the moon. It's just a different orientation of the moon.
And right up there in the corner, we say up next Jupiter, and we're not lying. We do have Jupiter coming up. Again, another teeny weeny cute planet. I love it. And Jupiter's been looking amazing in the morning sky. I've been taking my dog for a walk and looking up and seeing Jupiter in the morning. And I was asking Graham about that the other day. Why is it there in the morning?
Yeah, so roughly speaking, at the moment, Jupiter is rising around about midnight. Jupiter is heading towards its opposition in December. So just to recap, opposition is when a planet is on the opposite side of Earth to the sun. And it's when you have the planet at its highest in the sky around about midnight. And that's the best time for observing planets. So Jupiter is still a couple of months away from its prime viewing time, but yeah, it's rising in the middle of the night, and it is looking great in the pre-dawn sky, which is what you've been enjoying.
And Jupiter's a little bit closer than Saturn, right?
Right, that's right. Yes. So Jupiter is the first of the outer planets. So yes, it is closer than Saturn. It's also a little bit bigger than Saturn. And of course, the famous feature with Saturn is its rings. The classic thing to observe with Jupiter is its banding, and we can see that here. We can see these light bands and these dark bands. The light bands are called zones.
Yeah.
The darker bands are called belts, and it's different particles in these bands that are giving them these different tints, and that is another one of the great classic sights of the solar system.
And when you see it in the morning, it's just like a bright little ball of brightness on the sky, and it's very distinguishable even when the sun is starting to rise and the sky is twilight, and it's still quite bright in the sky. So another cute little planet. On timeanddate.live, you can find lots more about the eclipse, about the moon. We also have a great astronomy section. Just go up in the menu and find it there. It's called the Sun, Moon and Earth, and you can find more planet information there. Oh, there was a plane flying across the moon.
Just saw that, yes.
That was so cool. So we will see you back soon. You're watching a partial lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we're at max eclipse. And we are looking at a zoomed in image up there in the corner of what the eclipse part looks like on the moon. And we can see the dark inner umbral shadow there. It looks interesting when it's so close up, but we can really see the edge of the shadow. And what's going on here, Graham? And if someone was standing there on the moon like an astronaut looking, what would it look like from that angle?
Yeah, well, as you say, it is great how we can see the shift from that dark inner shadow to that lighter outer shadow in that zoomed in view there. Yeah, so your question, Anna, if an astronaut was standing in that part of the moon, if they were standing in the lighter part, the part covered by the lighter outer part of Earth's shadow, if they looked up into their sky, they would see a partial solar eclipse. The Earth would be covering part of the sun, but not all of the sun. If, however, we had an astronaut in that darker part of the moon, that little tiny fraction that is covered by the darker inner part of Earth's shadow, if they looked up, they would see a total solar eclipse. The Earth would be covering all of the moon. Now, we can see that it doesn't go completely dark there. That's because when this astronaut looked up into the sky, they would see the Earth blocking the sun, but around the edge of the Earth, they would see the Earth's atmosphere lit up and shining red in the sky, and it would give them and their surroundings this sort of reddish tint. Now, when we have a total lunar eclipse, it's this reddish tint that we see across the whole of the moon's disk. That gives us this famous blood moon, where the whole of the full moon turns to this sort of reddish, brownish color. Now, tonight, it's not a total lunar eclipse. It is just a small partial lunar eclipse. The only part of the moon that is turning red is just this very small fraction, 3.5% on this edge of the moon. It doesn't really look red to us here because, well, the rest of the moon is still so bright and silvery. But yeah, an astronaut standing there in that part of the moon would be seeing a reddish tint to their surroundings.
Okay. And these images, they're coming from Steffen, Thorsen, and Adalbert Michelik. And we've mentioned them quite a few times here on our feed. And just, only a few hours ago, it feels like a lifetime ago, and it was yesterday, they were poring over weather reports and figuring out where to go, and they ended up pretty much down the road. So that we pretty excited about that. And they've been bringing us these beautiful planet images and moon images, including this zoomed in view here. That's the same telescope we've been using for the planets, Graham. And we're going to talk to Steffen now. We're getting him on. There he is. Looks a bit cold.
He does. And wow. Hi, Steffen. Well, here you are just down the road from us in Stavanger. In recent years, you've taken the mobile observatory to Australia, to Africa, to North America, South America, the Mediterranean, all over the globe. But today, this is a kind of a home eclipse for you. How did you decide on this location?
Hello, Graham and Anna. Well, we have, as you said, looked at weather forecasts since they started being available. And they changed a lot. So we've seen sometimes that it might be a good chance we can actually do it from Stavanger. And then next day it looked like, no, we're not doing it from Stavanger. And we're going to go into UK or to Poland or to some other place instead. But the last few days, it's kind of been more promising, and it's also easier logistics, and you can bring more and bigger equipment if you can drive somewhere. So it's kind of it's nice if you can actually just drive somewhere nearby, or even be in the office to do this. That makes life much easier.
And it's
Yeah.
4:47 local time at the moment, so it's turning into morning, and you do look a bit cold. How can you describe where you are and how you're set up?
And we drove about 2 hours south of Stavanger, a bit further than we originally expected to do. But we are like 50 meters from the coastline, and 30 meters from a lighthouse in Lista, which is a small place a bit between Stavanger and Kristiansand. And it's normally a place which is known for very windy weather, and windy weather is not a great thing for telescopes because the images will shake more. But it's been a really calm, nice evening, and the sky has been really bright because of the moonrise. So we kind of walk in the moonlight basically to with a bit of additional help then, but still it's very nice.
Yeah. And this is we've been really enjoying that zoomed in view of the eclipsed part of the moon you're sending through there. As we look at it in the telescope view, we can kind of see that, we've got this nice silvery area and then this sort of darkish area. How is that actually looking with the naked eye?
With the naked eye, it's pitch black. You see nothing really, because the rest of the moon is still so bright that the dark part is just black. And the rest of the moon also has a gradient in a way from the brightest in the lower left area to the dark area where the partial eclipse is happening.
Yeah, right. And you mentioned about the lighthouse, and I know there was a little bit of concern about the lighthouse, but that hasn't been affecting you at all.
Now we're a bit afraid that the light, if there was a bit of moisture in the air, it might actually light up. So we will kind of get flashes in the images, but it hasn't been a problem at all. We are kind of probably under the lighthouse for so it shines higher than and then the light doesn't reach that far to actually be a problem for us. So it's been nice, but we had some concern about the lighthouse, because we never tried doing this next to a lighthouse before. So, but that's definitely recommended. It's very nice seeing that kind of swipe of the light beam over us.
It's always.
I can try
so
to point.
much fun.
I can try to point the camera. I can try to point another camera too, so you can watch what it looks like later.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Well, he's already planning on the spot here. This is the nature of eclipses. It's always fun talking to Steffen and figuring out where he is and what he's going to do, because it changes up until the last minute, as we just saw. We're pretty much at max eclipse. We're kind of moving towards the end of partial, but we still have at least a little bit of half an hour left.
Well, I've got like 25 minutes still to go in partial.
Yeah. So we can still enjoy this dark part of the moon. And Steffen, we hope you're not too cold, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And now you get to point the camera at Mars.
Right.
Yes, I will do that too.
Awesome, Steffen. Thank you
you
so much. And bye-bye. We will Hey, you are watching partial lunar eclipse here on timeanddate.com, and we're coming towards the end of partial. We can see that Earth's dark shadow is really kind of moving away from the moon's surface here. So yeah, it's coming towards an end. We still have the penumbral shadow also retracting across the moon after that until the penumbral ends at 04:47 UTC, but that's just a slightly dimmer moon situation going on there. But we also have a very important message from our local plane nerd here at Time and Date HQ. Stop it. So we did see a plane cross the moon surface earlier in the show, and I can report that that's the Austrian Airlines Airbus A321-211 Reykjavik to Vienna flight. So there you go. You can rewind the live feed when we're done and have a look at that plane flying from Reykjavik to Vienna. So that's a lot of fun.
An important update.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And as well as planes, we have also been catching some planets in the live stream tonight. We do have 3 planets in the night sky at the moment. We have Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. Right now, our streaming partner in Darlington in the UK, Neil Sanders from Go Stargazing. He's hoping to bring us another view of Jupiter tonight. Neil is an old friend of Time and Date. He runs the Go Stargazing organization in the UK. And this really is just a wonderful organization for amateur and professional astronomers, for instrument scientists, for dark sky consultants, educational providers. Neil really does do an amazing job of bringing together the astronomy and educational communities in the UK. Go Stargazing does a fantastic job at promoting public interest in astronomy in the UK. Thank you, Neil, for the tremendous
images of the moon there.
Yeah, some beautiful moon images there from Darlington. So thank you so much for that. In the top right of the screen, we have our 3rd planet that we're featuring tonight. We've had a look at Saturn and Jupiter, and in the top right corner now we have
tiny
Mars, which is rising in the middle of the night at the moment. It's rising a little bit after Jupiter. We've been talking about planets being at opposition. This is kind of the best time to see planets. Mars is edging towards its opposition. It will happen at the beginning of next year. On January 16th, Mars will lie on the opposite side of Earth to the Sun. It will also be at its closest point to the Earth. And this is when Mars really does become that sort of famous, fiery, red planet that we see in the sky. Sometimes Mars is a long way from Earth on the other side of the Sun, and it disappears from view. When it is around opposition, this is when it really takes on well, again, it's one of the great icons of the solar system. So at the moment, Mars is still quite small, still not that dramatic in the sky, but keep an eye on it over the next few months as we edge towards its opposition in January. Mars is getting brighter and redder in the sky.
And it really is one of my favorites in the sky as well, because you can really see that red tint once it kind of starts showing its true colors.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Yeah.
And we also like to thank John Williams, who's been sending beautiful images. It's on the screen right now. Santa Fe, USA. And he had some clouds in the beginning, but he has been making up for it ever since. So thank you, John. John's a science writer, outreach specialist, and web developer for the National Solar Observatory. He also works with he does amazing work. He's got a blog, a website. He just anything that's got to do with photography and creativity around astronomy, he's there. And yes, we want to thank John as well for his great effort. And you can also read more about John and Neil on our live blog on timeanddate.live. And stay with us. We're still here for a little while longer, and we'll see you soon.
This has been the super harvest moon eclipse of 2024 here on timeanddate.com. This is the final lunar eclipse of the year. And, well, the partial phase of the eclipse has ended. We're now into the final penumbral phase. So the moon is now moving out through the lighter outer part of Earth's shadow. We can still see that there is that clear darkening on the right-hand side of the moon as we look at these images from the Time and Date Mobile Observatory just down the road from us in Stavanger, Norway. Over the next hour and a half, the moon will move completely out the shadow. That darkening will completely vanish, and the full moon will return to its usual silvery color. So this is the final lunar eclipse of the year, but it's not the final eclipse of the year. In 2 weeks' time, at new moon, we have a solar eclipse. Now, tonight's lunar eclipse was coinciding with a supermoon. In 2 weeks' time, the solar eclipse will be coinciding with a micromoon, where the moon is particularly far away from Earth and therefore fractionally smaller in the sky. Now, it's only a small difference in size, but when it comes to solar eclipses, these tiny differences in the moon's size do have an outsized effect. The fact that it's a micromoon at the next solar eclipse means that it's not going to be a total solar eclipse. It's going to be an annular solar eclipse, where the moon is not big enough to cover the sun completely. Instead, the moon gets completely silhouetted against the sun, and it gives us the famous ring of fire with the thin circle of the sun shining around the moon. We will have coverage of that on timeanddate.com. This is on October the 2nd. And the ring of fire will be visible across the Pacific Ocean, including Easter Island, and a very remote stretch of South America. It will pass over Chile and Argentina. And yes, we will have coverage of that here on timeanddate.com.
And as always, we have to end with thanking our wonderful partners for their great efforts, their training, their practice, and their just good-heartedness. In Santa Fe, we've got John Williams. It's in New Mexico, USA, Santa Fe. We just mentioned him earlier. He has been helping us, giving us these beautiful images from Santa Fe. In Darlington, England, Neil Sanders from Go Stargazing, and in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, we've got Khadija Ahmad, Ahmad Hassan, and Mahmoud Hassan from the Dubai Astronomy Club. And last but not least, we've got Steffen, Thorsen, and Adalbert Michelik, who's been working very hard in the cold for the Time and Date Mobile Observatory. And as always, on our live blog on timeanddate.live, we've got more information about eclipses, sunrise, sunset, moon phases, and much, much, much more on timeanddate.com. And remember to come back here in 2 weeks. Bye. time and date, we look up into the sky. We bring you exclusive footage from eclipses worldwide. We take our mobile observatory to where the action happens. Hi, Steffen.
Hi, Anna.
We collaborate with experts and observatories across the globe to bring you the best view of celestial events.
And we ordered the devil's horn just for you.
Now, we have to say thank you very much for your images tonight.
We explain how and show why it all happens while answering your questions during our live broadcast events.
That is a meteor.
Find your home and even more details on time and day. And subscribe to join us next time.